Greetings everybody and welcome back to this new episode of Some Bond Geek Talks About with me, your host, the name's Stevens, Henry Stevens. Everybody, how'd you do? I hope you're well, hope you enjoyed a good Bond film, a good Bond video game, a good James Bond book, a good James Bond thing, whatever you love. And as always everybody, a massive thank you for coming and joining us on the show. Now, today everybody, we're going to discuss The Man Who Charges a Million a Shot. An expression to none. Here it is, the man with the golden gun, everybody. But before we discuss it, everybody, please allow and indulge you just a little bit of house clean very quickly. Can I just ask, if you are a fan of this web series and this channel, why not subscribe down below? Click on the subscribe button, the notification bell icon to future updates and videos. Don't forget also to like, comment, subscribe, because I love having and signing chats with you all when you comment and having conversations about the topics I'm discussing. And as always, everybody, a massive thank you from me to you for just being here, being part and celebrating the James Bond community. But as I said, everybody, today we are going to discuss The Man with the Golden Gun. And here's my initial thoughts on it right here and now. Camp. Yeah, that sums up the this film, doesn't it? The word camp. You know, there is the sci-fi James Bonds, there is the guilty pleasure James Bonds, there's the real serious, the more light-hearted. This is the camp James Bond. This is the camp James Bond film. But in a way, I've got to go into this more. But before we go into that, if you're new to the channel, let me explain. Part of the Some Bond Geek Talks About ethos is telling you all about my history and my experiences with James Bond throughout my life. And when it comes to The Man with the Golden Gun, boy, do I have a story to tell you, everybody. So essentially, I remember, first off, that I remember it was on late at night once at 9 o'clock, and my mum, for some reason this time, wouldn't let me see The Man with the Golden Gun, and I desperately wanted to see it, but I wasn't allowed to see it. So the mystery of The Man with the Golden Gun started alluring in my mind. It always really excited me, even by the title. I love the title of this film. And then I remember seeing this VHS art at some family friends who had it, and just seeing, if you see it on the screen now, Bond is scared. Bond is terrified, clearly, of this man with the golden gun. And I was in my head, oh my god, Bond is really scared. This could be something amazing. This could be something really, like, awesome. Like, this character, this man with the golden gun, has got Bond scared. Just, wow. And then finally, I think I bought it at the same time I got Live and Let Die. So it was one of the later films I added finally to my James Bond collection. And I remember, when we got home, I raced to the TV. I put in that DVD of The Man with the Golden Gun. And boy, was I lied to. Boy, was I lied to. This was not the film I thought I was going to be watching. This was not the film that I felt was advertised on that VHS cover. This was something completely else. But everybody, that's really my story about... Oh, I should actually mention, for those of you who know the channel, know that I watched a lot of Bond films with my grandfather. His thoughts on this film were interesting as well. There are bits, let's just say, he liked, and some bits he thought were absolutely garbage. Let's just leave it at that. God rest my grandfather. But everybody, let's talk about some of the things I didn't like about this movie. Let's carry on with that trend, and I'll start with this. Look, there are two storylines running in this movie. There is the Bond versus Scaramanga storyline, which it should be the entire plot, should be all focused on that, and it would be bloody brilliant if it would. But then they've also got, because of the energy crisis around the time, the solar agitator storyline, and they're really trying to like just smash all of it together to be something, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I just wish this film just was the Bond versus Scaramanga storyline, because that's what it should have been. It would have been enough. It really would have. Another thing I don't like, and I'm going to have to go into some character stuff here as well. Normally I do the talk about the characters at the end, and I will a bit, but I have to go in here, is, do you know what? Roger Moore, again, he did a terrific one, Let It Die. In this film, I don't know whether it was told, I'm sure there's documents out there, but he starts acting a bit more like how Sean Connery would do James Bond, a lot more aggressive. Now, the great thing about Roger Moore is people underestimate him. He can do aggressive. He can do that stuff. And it's very much summed up in the bit where he's talking to Scaramanga's girlfriend, his kept woman who's trying to escape. when he's very forceful and starts hitting her and all that stuff. You never hit women people. You obviously know that, but I'll say it again. You never ever hit ladies. And it's just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's almost like it's not his James Bond character. It just doesn't work for me. He pulls it off really well. The actor's terrifically in it. But that's not really good. Another thing I don't like about this film, everybody, is the kung fu element. Now, I love kung fu movies. I'm a massive Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan. Really much love their movies. If there's any kung fu movies you'd like to recommend to me, please comment down below and tell me. I will watch them. But, the 70s Bond films always try to sort of mix genres. So, like Diamonds Are Forever was the big over-the-top American action movie. Live and Let Die was about Bond and blaxploitation. This film is basically Bond mixing with the kung fu genre, and it doesn't work, everybody. I get upset saying that, but it doesn't work. It just feels ugh. It really does. I don't like it. I think because they don't have some proper good kung fu fights, or it's just used as a sort of ha thing and not given its proper respect. But it just ruins the film for me, and it allows so much, and I'm coming to the word, campy moments that just make you cringe. There we go. Sum up Man with the Golden Gun, camp and cringe. It just doesn't really work at all, and it's not really properly used, so I don't really like that either. But the biggest cardinal sin, and I think some of you know I would have to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it right here and now to you all, is Britt Ekland's Mary Goodnight. Now, I want to say something right off the bat. Britt Ekland is an amazing actress. Honestly, you go watch anything else she's in outside of Man with the Golden Gun. She is superb. She is fantastic. If I'm a personal favourite, I love her little role in The Wicker Man. Again, with Christopher Lee, which we'll get on to in a minute. Really, really well done as well. But here, this is where I can't defend the idea that Bond women are just bimbos, because her whole story arc is, James, I must sleep with you. Can I sleep with you now? I must sleep with you. Must sleep with James Bond. That's all I actually ever want. Seriously, that's her whole character. It's bonk Bond, bonk Bond, bonk Bond. And it's like, oh, it infuriates me, people. It so infuriates me. We've had such powerful, strong, independent, really cool characters. And then we have suddenly this just one character who's all about bonk Bond, bonk Bond, bonk Bond. Oh my God. Oh, Britt Ekland deserves better. She so deserves so much better. It's so annoying to see this. And it's like, the whole film, and then at the end, having the James. Oh, and she's just, and then she suddenly she turns from suddenly being sort of competent and then becoming not so competent. Then they try and make her competent. The character is dreadful, and I'm so pissed off at the character. And as I said earlier, when people say the Bond women in the franchise are just sort of dumb bimbos, and this is the perfect example for their argument, but it's not true. An example, I'll go into the good bits when it comes to Maud Adams' character, but oh my God, Mary Goodnight annoys me so much. God, it's such a waste of talented Britt Ekland. But everybody, that's my real main gripes about the film. All this bad stuff here just adds to the cringeworthy campness of it. It's so camp, and Britt Ekland's Mary Goodnight adds to the camp, the bad kung fu. Some of the dialogue in this film just adds to it as well. Like, chew me! It's like, oh God. But everybody, there is good stuff. There is good stuff in this movie. Number one, without a shadow of a doubt, is Christopher Lee, rest in peace, good sir, Francisco Scaramanga. One of the greatest Bond villains of all time. I love Francisco Scaramanga. If it didn't have Christopher Lee in this movie, I think there would have been no real true saving grace. Because I just love Scaramanga. He's such an interesting character. He is truly the dark side of Bond. He's suave. He's sophisticated. He's really interesting. You can, even though he's the assassin and Bond is also assassin, you could see in another life, maybe these two could have been really great friends. Scaramanga admires Bond. He respects him so much. And I think there's a bit of respect back from Bond as well. And I just love it when they're on scene together. The whole bit where they're having a lunch together before they have their duel, which I'll get into in a minute. It's just terrific. It's absolutely terrific. And every time they're on screen, both of them either together, I love Francisco Scaramanga. aided very much by Nick Nack. I'm not going to say the actor's name because I always butcher it. But, you know, Nick Nack, again, a really great sidekick. But again, ruined with campiness, with just at the end just making fun of his size, which I really found annoying. With such lines as, I may be small, but I never forget. It's like, why, people? Why? But say, Francisco Scaramanga is certainly a highlight. But again, the two other things that really stand out to me I love in this film is the duel, which is what I think the whole story should have been about leading up to, instead of the Solar Agitator. Because the whole duel of the Titans, my wolf for your wolf for PBK versus my golden gun, each with a 50-50 chance. A duel between Titans. Just, it's so wonderful, and it's so elegantly and so well done. I love the duel. That's a proper finale to the film, not everything that comes after it. But the funhouse. Some people call it corny, cheesy, or stupid. I love that funhouse, people. I love it. I think it's fantastic. One of the best things in the movie and one of the most iconic things to me in the whole James Bond franchise. I love that funhouse, how it moves your persuasion, how it really unnerves you, all the different tricks and stuff it has in it. Right, you know, the opening title sequence when you really show off the funhouse was just, oh, I'm so on board at that point I was. Then the campiness started afterwards. And, you know, how it's used again in the end for the big duel, just so wonderful. I applaud that funhouse. I have happy memories of doing multiplayer in that funhouse in video game level, and it was just utterly, utterly terrific, everybody. So, I mean, there is some good stuff in it, and I'm going to give a shout out here because I didn't mention him in Live and Let Die, but Chef J.W. Pepper. Again, just, I know this character might be considered very annoying, but I love this character. I really do. I love Sheriff W. Pepper. Just a personal love. I find him very funny. His comments are quite funny. You know, when the elephant throws him in the water in this one, it's really great. When he joins Bond on the chase sequence, which, by the way, one of the most epic car stunts of all time. You know the one I'm talking about, ruined by the whistle. Ooh. Just again, adds to the stupid campiness. It's so annoying. Why didn't they in the Blu-rays take that out? Just why? Would have saved it. But let's talk about some of the other characters really here quickly before we go. Obviously, you've got Bernard Lee as M still, being quite aggressive this time, but being good. Desmond Llewellyn is back, which is also great. Lois Maxwell gets a couple of lines, not really anything noticeable. Bond's ally, Lieutenant Hip, is okay, nothing special, but again, likeable. I've talked obviously about Nick Nack. That's really it, everybody, when it comes to sort of mentions about the characters. Nothing else is really... Oh, sorry, Maud Adams. Really terrific Bond woman this time, absolutely. She's a really interesting character, a real character out of her depth, but can think on her wits, and she comes up with the item that gets Bond involved in this story. I won't say exactly what it is, but that's kudos to her. It's really, really great. But everybody, just... all I think about when it comes to Man the Golden Gun is such an expression. It's so cringy and camp. It's ridiculous. Combine that with Britt Ekland's bonk Bond, bonk Bond, bonk Bond. It's just... there is a good film in here somewhere, but I just don't know where it is. There's some great moments like, you know, thanks to this film, I got Christopher Lee, Francisco Scaramanga, I got the Funhouse. I'm trying to forget the John Barry score, though I think he also did as well. Just, oh god, Man the Golden Gun. It's just so campy, so cheesy, so many wrong mistakes. And I think this film perfectly represents a problem which we'll get into in the next review, which is the breakup of the partnership between Avatar Broccoli and Harry Saltzman. But I want to know, everybody, what are your thoughts on this film? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I want to know. Comment down below. Tell me what you feel about this movie. As always, everybody, my name's Henry Sims, and this has been some Bond Geek Talks About. Goodbye.